Good night, good night. Just getting out of the gym. And I don't have much content to listen to, so I'm listening to like this Obie Allen and Chantel Simone interview. And I think Chantel did a fairly good, I think she did good, well. And I won't go like, oh, she did like awesome. I haven't finished it. But I'm getting to the point where, I'm getting to the point in the video where she kind of just pretty much has to defend herself. And he's kind of just coming at her. Now, as I've said multiple times, like, you know, I went to ATL on Saturday. And for the couple hours I was there, I observed quite a bit. Right? And I didn't observe all of it, but I picked up on some things. And, hold on, let me just turn on the AC here. I just don't want, like, the sound of the engine just... So, I picked up on quite a few things. And, to be very honest, man, I'm gonna say straight up, ATL is a very feminine city. It's led by women. It's a black mecca, so to speak. I don't know what the breakdown is. Probably, I don't know what the breakdown is, but it's a black mecca. And I didn't even get to like a lot of places. I went to like College Park, the Real Milk and Honey in College Park, and there's a couple things that were going on. And then of course I went to pinups and all that other stuff. But just like, not the pinup stuff, because that's just like, all right, cool. I went to a fucking black strip club, like, like I'm not even gonna comment on that. But like, the stuff I saw at my hotel in Morrow, I think M-O-R-R-O, Morrow. The stuff I saw at the Best Buy in the Morrow area, the mall over there. The stuff I saw again at the Real Milk and Honey in College Park. I did go to a part in like kind of northern Atlanta at the McLaren Lamborghini, or the Motor Cars of Atlanta. I was up in that area. If y'all know, y'all know. Y'all can search where that is. Versus like College Park is like 30 minutes south of that. You know, going on the highway and all that stuff. But I noticed it's a very feminine city, because when I went out to like, and then even like when, you know, when you go out to predominantly black places, because, you know, again, shout out to my homeboy, Adrian Thomas. And he said, hey, listen, yeah, go to the Real Milk and Honey. It's a good place to go to, blah, blah, blah. So, he says, you know, excuse me, I saw the one in College Park, so I went to that one. And he's like, yeah, that's the best one. But when I went out there, 90% women, 10% men. There was not a lot of men in the area. Also, it was the, what's it called? It was the homecoming for Spelman and Morehouse, I think. So you saw a lot of women out there, a lot of women, you know, in groups and stuff like that, sorors and all that other stuff. And I was just like, wow, this is extremely, you go in a restaurant, like, you know, you see one or two dudes and everything else like that, but then you got to almost split that in half, because most of those dudes will be feminine. Like, they're just like, they're gay. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool, do you. And, even the chick sitting next to me, I was just like, you know, it was a real feminine city. And even that chick, I don't even think that was a chick, but I'm not sure. I've said that in past videos. The reason why I bring this up is because when you hear about an Obie Allen, or you hear about Obie Allen talk about, I talk to women and I don't talk about women, I talk to women. Or a lot of these men are talking, you know, one of the points he's bringing up is that a lot of these men that are talking online don't actually commune or have any type of community with women in real life. As if, you know, like, men don't have fucking homegirls. As if these women don't just a lot of women, especially in the black community, for some reason, they have damn near more homeboys, just as many homeboys as they do have homegirls. And it's just crazy. Like, you know, they always have, like, even me. Like, I have, like, homegirls, women that I grew up with that I still talk to, so on and so forth. So I commune with women in real life. In the most part, I don't really deal with a lot. Well, I won't say that. I won't, like, fucking make that stretch. But I deal with women in real life on a regular basis and outside of work and everything else like that. When it comes to work, I deal with mostly men. Outside of work, my cleaning lady, My cleaning lady, anytime I have to call someplace, you know, talk to like a business, to a business or anything else like that, I have to commune with them. My neighbors, then, you know, even when it comes to going outside and like, you know, the cashiers and everything else like that, people that you talk to on a regular basis, on a daily basis for the places that you frequent. Then it comes to the personal relationships. You know, the women that I talk to on a regular basis. No, I don't really talk to a lot of like women on personal relationships unless I'm fucking them. Like me personally. So for even him to say that is like, oh, okay, well, you know, you guys don't commune a lot with women. We're fucking men. Why would we talk with women all fucking day? Why, like, it's just like, bro. And then when you, again, that city is very feminine. It has a very feminine energy to it. And like, I have a probably acute sensitivity towards like cities, and like you could even call it anxiety in some cases, where I just don't like fucking driving in cities. You just like to live in, you live in Miami and Fort Lauderdale or South Florida area for, you know, years on end, like, you know, pretty much the first half of my life so far, or a predominant, or like, yeah, 95% of my life. I've only been in Georgia for 2 years, in Southeast Georgia. You know, 2 years, like, shit, Monday? Is it Monday? August 31st is the 2-year mark of when I closed on this house. So, one, men don't commune with women on a regular basis. That's just one thing I want to point out. But then, when I say there's a feminine energy, that you see a lot of women out and about in these different places. You see a lot of women out in the malls and everything else like that, or in the stores. And then you see, of course, effeminate men, gay men, out and about in these stores, in the hotel. When I talk to a woman at the hotel and then she starts talking about, you know, I ask her, hey, listen, where the club's at? And then she goes into it, and then she talks about how her mom wanted to take her to a strip club when she was 18, and I thought that was funny, but I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why would your mom take you to a strip club at that? Okay. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. You know, again, she was just saying it, and she was just being real with me, so I don't want to be rude, because she was, you know, she was being cool with me, so I don't want to be rude, but that is just, that's a bit odd, you know. So when I see that, when I see how, you know, how it is in that area, and how pretty much women run that city, black women especially, run that fucking city. Like, you can't sit there and talk out about like gay people. I'm sure you definitely can't talk about women in those cities. Like, they run those fucking areas, man. Inside, all up through that shit. So when I hear Obie Allen talk about, I talk to women. Of course you have to talk to women. They're the fucking gatekeepers in your fucking city, dude, in your environment. And I can tell you're a creative, artsy type person from the way you comport yourself, the way you actually, your body language, your behavior, your mannerisms, the way that you say, this is my ministry, because ministry has some type of religious, a little bit more emotional feel to it, a more, not a people feel, but what does that feel again, man? Where you feel real close to someone. You have like a real tie or connection to them. You know, you don't say group, because a group can be a loose collection of things. And that group can have, like, you know, one main thing that they all have a vision towards, or outlook towards, or goal that they're working towards. And then once that goal is achieved, they can turn on each other. So you say something like ministry or congregation. I understand these fucking words. I understand what he's saying. And I understand why he's doing it that way. Because it elicits a certain emotion in the people that he's talking to. AKA women. I talk to women. I don't talk about women. Of course you don't fucking talk to women. How can you? Or sorry, of course you don't talk about women. How can you? You have to talk to them, because if you don't, you will be locked out. And he knows that. Like, it's just crazy. And the worst part is, this shit doesn't serve the fucking women in the long run. It serves the person that's actually pandering to you. It serves the person that's actually trying to serve up some shit for you to eat. It doesn't serve you in the long run. It doesn't get you anywhere in the long run. I even watched another video where this woman talked about, you know, this algorithm be listening, man. The algorithm provides. So this woman talked about this young chick. She did like a stitch or some shit. So this young chick talks, ladies, all you ladies that's trying to come to Atlanta, and I'm doing the hand movements, by the way. All you ladies that are trying to come to Atlanta to find you a husband, they ain't out here. They're not out here. They're not like these. No, it's not here, ladies. Sis. You know, that type of shit. Then the older woman cuts in, older single woman who's still dating. She's like, yeah, I had to actually move to, not Raleigh, but Charleston, South Carolina. I had to move to Charleston, South Carolina, and I date mostly manly men that are on the outskirts of the Charleston area because there's some weirdos here too. And she's basically talking about the gay fucking people, the gay men. I know it. I could tell it. Like, because she tried to dance around it, of course, because she probably has friends and other people that are still, you know, in the city and stuff like that. She has to show her face. That city is a very connected city. I could see how that city is one where you know everybody. Like, when you go to, like, Miami, you may know one or two people, but they have to be, like, they have to be really special and stand out. And you have to frequent the same places that they go. When it comes to Georgia, I can see how, or Atlanta, I can see how that city, you can know somebody pretty easily. They don't have to be standout, right? But once they on the scene, you start to see them everywhere. Like, there's only certain places to go, so on and so forth. I could just feel that about the city. If I'm wrong, let me know otherwise. But that city feels like one of those places where it's a big city, but it's still small. In terms of the groups, the collectives, and the circles that everybody runs in, the places that everyone goes to, so on and so forth. It still feels like a small city. Whereas what I experienced with Miami is that you would know one or two people, but you can easily move back and forth between, say, predominantly white establishments, Hispanic establishments, and then all the little subsectors of like Peruvian and all this other stuff. Like, I could go to fucking Boca Raton. Well, no, that's fucking outside of Miami because that's in the Tri-County area. But, you know, it's like these one city type deals where in South Florida, you got 3 counties, and in each one of those counties, they have a large fucking city, right? So you have Dade County, and that houses Miami, or so now it's Miami-Dade mostly, kind of like Jacksonville's Duval County and shit. But Miami-Dade, and then you have Fort Lauderdale, which that is the downtown portion of it, but then you have all the suburbs outside of it, and there's like a huge mix. It's a very big melting pot. It's not really, it's very heterogeneous. It's very, instead of being homogenous, like kind of what I see with, Atlanta. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I was only there for one day, but listen, I want to say some of the stuff that I'm saying, motherfuckers would agree with. And I'll go as far as to say that. And then when you go to, like, say, from Fort Lauderdale, you go north and you go to West Palm Beach or Palm Beach County. And then you have West Palm Beach, but before that you have Boca Raton. And then even Boca Raton, that's your higher end. That's where the money is. Even before that, you get to Lighthouse Point. That's in Broward County. And then you're coming out and then going from there, Pompano Beach and stuff like that. That's where it gets a little bit hood. And then it goes up from there. And then you get into, like, Boca Raton and stuff like that. So you can actually mix and blend and go kind of anywhere in South Florida, and you won't be quote unquote out of place. That's one thing about South Florida, and I would assume it's kind of like that in Atlanta. But I think with Atlanta, a lot of people, like, the city is, I want to say that city is kind of segregated. I want to say it's kind of segregated. And then, you know, the white places, the white enclave, so to speak, the white places, you know, mostly just predominantly white people go there and that's it. And you might have like 1 or 2 black people. But honestly, I think a lot of the white places, as soon as one black person goes there, all the black people start to go there. And then it becomes a black place. Like, that place is very homogeneous. It looks like just a predominantly black city. But when I hear Obie Allen talk about this stuff, man, and just, again, I can't get over, like, oh, I talk to women, but not about women. A lot of these men don't commune or communicate with women in real life. And it's just like, bro, the audacity. And Ed says this shit all the time. Like, the audacity and the arrogance in this person and how he feels like he's more elite or better than. And you could see it. You can see the elitism. You could see how the word choices. And I'm not saying, like, oh, you know, I'm not saying, like, oh, you're using big words, because I don't think any of the words that were really big per se, but you can start to see where it's just like, the way in which you would say, like, you know, these people are beyond reproach, or these women are beyond reproach. You know, the way in which, you know, women behave, how, or the talking points, and the way he switched from being broad when talking about men and what men should do and what they can do, and their area of not competency, but their area of oh man, what do you call that, man? Your area of concern and what you should be doing is broad, so it's like everything. But then when it comes to women and their weight and any critiques that they have on them, or anything that the women are quote unquote doing wrong, then it becomes a more nuanced conversation. And you notice that, and he said he did that shit two distinct fucking times where he switched between broad and fucking nuanced. And I was just like, bro, if I fucking see this shit, I know other motherfuckers can see this shit. Because I'm not always good at breaking this shit down. But again, that experience that I had in fucking Atlanta, man, just for those fucking couple of hours that I was out and about and I was doing my fucking thing and was just out there, I just noticed some shit. I was literally like, I always think of myself as like the observer, the watcher. Like, I like to people watch and stuff like that. I like to chill in the cut, don't be bothered, and then just watch people and watch things go by. I watch things pass you by, so on and so forth. But I noticed some of his word choices, and I noticed also how he actually changed up and said certain things, or said things a certain way in terms of men versus women. And like that shit. And at one point when he first started to talk, I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong about this guy. When he first started talking about talking to Chantel Shimon, and he started to talk or started asking his questions, I was like, oh, okay, you're asking like more direct questions and stuff like that. And then he started breaking down her channel, and I'm like, oh my God. Because moments before, you're talking about how you're very directed, you knew what you were doing. You're doing these things in terms of like, and I made a video about this a while back about beef. You know, like, people are using rap beef tactics to actually grow a channel. And it's like, that's not fucking good. Because you're always just going to get antagonized. And then you're going to say, unsubscribe for me. And it's just like, bro, you're fucking poking. Okay, let's just say SYSBM came at you, right? And I'm not even saying be the bigger man. I'm not even saying that shit. I believe in, hit a motherfucker in their mouth, make sure they don't come back. But you start to see where he starts to take things like SYSBM and turn into SYCBM. And then even he jumped on one thing that Chantel Simone said. She wished she made a more Freudian slip, I guess. Where she said SYSBS. And he's like, SYS bullshit. Like, you know, like he laughed at it. Kind of like, not broke frame, but he jumped at that and was like, oh, that's funny. Like maybe he's going to use it or some shit. I don't know. Kind of doubt it. But you started to see, like, he did shit like that. And I was just like, wow, that's... like, things like that were telling, you know. And he started breaking down her channel and her thumbnails and what she's doing and how she's targeting men and pandering to men. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm of the mindset, like, you know, if you're going to pander to men like that, you know, I'd rather you, I'd rather you get the message right. I don't like, you know, women making money off of the content of, you know, late greats that were in this community way before that were doing this off the, you know, just off of the muscle, so to speak. And this is where I would agree with Grinch when it comes to the purity of the space. But I also have to just, you know, I'm just getting older, man. I'm gonna be 37 in a couple fucking days, man. November 20th, baby. I'm gonna be 30 fucking 7. And after a while, you just gotta look at it and say, hey, listen, man, it is what it is. There's only so much you can fucking do. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to, you know, get mad at everything. And at some point, you do have to detach. You do have to say, hey, listen, I'm a little bit too attached to this, and at some point, I'm going to have to move on from it. And not just that this community won't be here, but even if it is not here, then, you know, what am I going to do with myself? You know, talking about, like, you know, Obi talked about, like, you know, the group of men leaving, or the good group of men that escaped the ghetto, and how they, you know, they should always come back. And I'm like, man, fuck that. If the community doesn't serve you, then fuck it, you know. But then that doesn't mean, like, I don't congregate with other like-minded men that I find along the way. I do that shit all the time. I'm doing that right now. One of the things that I wanted to make sure I met with AT and say, hey, listen, yo, what's up, bro? At least like a couple fucking minutes and just, yo, listen, I'm a real person. I'm not the other person on the side of this, on the other side of some content. I'm a real fucking person. I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I talk the same way. Not on some, like, I'm a real nigga shit. I'm the same way on camera that I am off camera type shit. But just really like, yo, what's up, man? Everything's cool. Make those connections. Next time I'm in ATL, like, yo, let's do something a little bit, you know, he wasn't into the strip club scene, but he made the concession for myself to come out and say, yo, what's up, you know, like, cause, you know, I'm still on my debaucherous shit. But, make these fucking connections. And, like, men are doing this. Men that are, like, making 6 figures plus are doing these things. With or without this fucking community that doesn't fucking serve us. So then when we see this community fall into a pit of despair, we could just say, hey, man, I tried. I'll be over here. Can you throw a rope down? Gosh, darn it, I left my rope at the house. I'll be back. And then when you fucking, like, you leave, you just look at the other guys and be like, you want to go to the bar? Get some wings? You know? Because those are the guys that you can fucking work with. Because those guys didn't ostracize you for actually trying to be a little bit different. Then they didn't ostracize you for being, like, the black community, we have to do things together. Everything has to be kumbaya. Everything has to be something where we have to do something that someone else does or with someone else. Like, we can't do shit by ourselves. And I was talking to Ed about this, and I wanted to make a video, but I'll just put it in this one. But and I'm hungry and I'm tired, so I gotta cut this short pretty soon, or I gotta cut this off pretty soon. But the black community, what we often do, we always have to work with other people. We can't do shit by our fucking selves. We can't do anything by ourselves. We have to work with everybody. Why can't we come together and clap our hands and then, you know, and get into song and dance and Negro spirituals and all this other fuck shit? Which is why MGTOW is just like, we're looked at as MGTOWs are looked at as gay or hermits or, you know, weirdos or something like that. Because most MGTOWs are isolationists. Most MGTOWs are hermits. Most MGTOWs, this is why we have fucking monk mode. Like, I don't really need anybody around me. I mean, you know, it's nice to have my fucking dog, and I realized that the other day, and I was like, oh, okay, you do kind of make this easier, you know, something else to look at and, you know, communicate, well, not communicate with, but something to be around, another live thing, so to speak. But I also like, you know, like putting her away in the kennel and spending some time to myself. That I definitely like getting that time back. But one thing I noticed about a lot of the MGTOWs that I've seen as I've gone through this journey, BGS Ibmore, well, I don't know too much about BGS, of course, but BGS Ibmore, he's been around, consistent, monk mode, so on and so forth. A person like Hammerhand, you could see somebody like him where he's actually not per se doing better, because he doesn't really show that a lot, but he does what he wants and he's happy and he's content with it. A person like Darius M, you could see how, you know, his how he's consistent. He's always the same. He seems like he's happy. He makes his content, and then he cuts and moves. When you see somebody like and I think your man's Templar, I won't put the MGTOW moniker, but I will put the Sigma male walk his own path type moniker on him. And you know, he's over in Brazil, and you know, he made that stream a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago now, and you know, he's doing his own thing, and he's moving to the beat of his own drum. You know, I won't put Passport Bros in there because they're bros, they're a collective, you know. But then when you look at, say, Barbar, you know, you don't really see much content from him, but what he does do, like, he'll do his hikes. You know, he's in a better place, it seems like, health-wise, last I checked, and I have to see that. But even Jada Black, he's not totally MGTOW, but he was around during those early days, but you can see how he does his own thing. Like, he is his own person, and that's it. You know, he doesn't need, quote-unquote, a community per se, unless it's people that actually help drive his narrative or initiative, you know? So it's just like, when I see this shit, man, from fucking people, dude, and the way that these motherfuckers act, bro, out here, it's really fucking telling, man, that the dudes that are isolationists, or the hermits that are MGTOW, that are willing to go their own way, do it themselves, they end up far better than a lot of these motherfuckers, especially on the black side. Black Ram 313, another person, you know, he's out there traveling more. You start to see where these motherfuckers really is out here you know, doing their own thing the way that they want to do it. They are blazing their own fucking trail, myself and fucking included. Y'all see the stuff that I talk about and what I do. Shout out to brother, I think his name is Julius or just something, man. Damn it. I erased your comment for a reason. You know why. You talked about OE. Like, I didn't mean anything bad by it or anything else like that, but I wanted to put that out there. I forgot the guy's name, man. It's something. I think he had like Muhammad Ali as his avatar. But yeah, like, you spelt out the whole word. Don't do that. So you know, and I've never said that. You know, that's like, you know, I'm not trying to slap you on the wrist or nothing. I don't mean any malice by it, but you know, I'm trying to quiet up on that front, so to speak, in some of my content. The excitement for me is over. Now it's like, okay, hunker down, do the work. And for those that know that I've already talked to and they want to get on it eventually, I'm here. But for those that don't, they can find another source for that type of information, right? So just putting that out there to you, man. I didn't want it to be like I was being disrespectful. You did that underneath I think my last post talking about some shit. I forgot. About being content. Anyways. But you're starting to see where a lot of these guys that are quote-unquote selfish, the guys that are focusing on themselves and their, you know, the individual path. You know, they can't, like, we're a group of individuals, so it's kind of an ironic term. But we're forging our own path, and we're coming back to talk to the ones that are listening. We save who wants to be saved. Those that don't want to be saved will not be saved, at least by us. They can be saved by somebody else or by them damn selves. Save yourself, black man, so on and so forth. But you're seeing where the guys that are blazing their own trail and actually doing the quote-unquote weirdo shit, what we're labeled as incels for, we're doing better. We're getting better. We're getting more money. We're actually, quote-unquote, healing ourselves in some ways. We're actually setting ourselves up for future success. You know, you look at a line of MGTOW. I mean, to me, that guy's a loner. You know, he might congregate with one or two people. I've never contacted him off of you know, comment sections, videos, and things like that. And there's no real need to, because it's like he's reaching back. And a lot of times what we're doing is when we're making these videos, because for me it's in a level of expression or a form of expression. But when we're like reaching, like, this is us reaching back. We don't have to say this shit. There's a lot of us that do not say this shit. So we don't have to say this shit. All we have to do is just do our own thing and live our fucking lives. And we could watch, quote unquote, from the fucking clouds. But we choose to. Even though we're loners, Sigma males, MGTOWs. And I won't even go to it more because it's not the same. Even though we're loners, we actually reach back into our community by making these videos. And people don't see it as that because they don't like the tone. They don't like the subject matter. They don't like what we talk about. They don't like the way that we talk about it. You know, the real, quote unquote realness, the non-sugarcoating. You know, getting to the point. You know, attacking the issue, attacking the problem head on. You know, blades at the ready, fucking shields the fuck up. You know what I mean? Battle fucking ready stances. Ready to attack this shit. And then motherfuckers be acting like, well, you know, hey, listen, man, you know, the way you said it, you know, I think that was a little bit harsh. Like, man, fuck you. Get the fuck out with your bitch ass. And like, you know, it's just wild to me the way, it's wild to me the way in which, like, we all have to, like, play this shitty ass fucking game with people, man. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. It's getting a little bit longer, so I'm tired. And, you know, listen to what people say. And not only listen to what people say, but if you ever have a chance to understand where these people are coming from and the environment in which they live in, you start to really see how, of course, this shit shapes their talking points. Of course, you have to talk to women. They're your gatekeepers. If you don't fucking talk to women, you're going to be fucking stuck. And that's why we look at you as fucking, you know, less than, or as a fucking biter. Because first you bite off of Kevin Samuels, and then now you're biting off of SYSBM. So you keep on hijacking like a fucking parasite all these other different fucking movements, and then want to fucking, you know, throw rocks, hide your fucking hand, and get mad and say, unsubscribe if you don't want to be a part of my ministry. All right, pastor. Fucking bow-jagged, fucking untie the bow tie, retie the bow tie, bow-jangling, fucking buck-legging fucking pastor and shit. Anyways, with all that being said, love you all. And wish you all the best in your days. Peace.